Hey everyone, welcome to the Crazy Amazing Humans podcast, where we highlight everyday people doing crazy amazing things, people like you and me, who utilize their talents and resources to give back, pay it forward, and make a difference. My name's Katrina Carlson.
And I'm Jefferson Denham. And we are your travel guides on this amazing adventure together. On today's episode, we will take a look into the night sky to experience its grandeur and remind ourselves that we are all one under the same sky. We will also be interviewing Karen Hawkins, who started a warrior's fight on Facebook and Instagram, documenting her 7-year battle with cancer.
Even in the midst of her struggle, you'll see that Karen intentionally looks for ways to affirm life and inspire people. It's amazing. We also will be letting you know about some other crazy, amazing humans that are doing some wonderful things in their neighborhoods and communities to make a difference for good.
Right. And lastly, we want to make sure we stay connected with you. So don't forget to write to us at crazyamazinghumans@gmail.com to let us know your thoughts and comments. We'd also love to know about any crazy, amazing humans that you are aware of, that you find inspirational.
Because we want to make sure we're giving you uplifting and inspiring stories and practical information. We're on a mission to inspire you and remind you that you are crazy amazing.
I want you to feel, I want you to feel something crazy, crazy amazing.
Part 1, there is no them. About a month or so ago, Katrina and I played at what was I think it was a star party.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a star party before. I hadn't. It was part of Sky's the Limit, which is out by Joshua Tree in California. Maybe you've been there before. And so one thing that we really look for is ways to contribute our talents to help people doing cool things for other people. And so when we heard about this, they actually utilized our song Stargazing as their theme song for this fundraiser. And so we said, hey, we'll just come out and play for the event. Wouldn't that be
right? So it was it was their main fundraiser for the year, and it was amazing to be out there because we were actually on a stage with only red light,
right?
Because that's the only thing that wouldn't impede the telescopes.
Right.
And so they're just like hundreds of people looking through telescopes at the beautiful night sky in Joshua Tree.
And it's crazy, right? I mean, you don't realize how many stars.
It was amazing and overwhelming.
Now, you grew up in Arizona. You probably
Right.
saw this kind of sky before.
I definitely spent many nights on our trampoline looking straight up at the
Wow.
sky, at the stars, and imagining what that world was like. But it
Right.
definitely makes you feel your insignificance in a certain way. Like, it puts life into perspective.
Right.
To look up at that sky that's almost like solid with stars. It's like
Right.
lit.
And it also reminds us that we're all together. It's like we can all be high and mighty on our quote unquote possession or position in culture or in life. And you recognize when you look at the stars and how big the sky is, you know
Yeah.
what? I think we're all kind of on the same plane
Yeah,
field.
we're all under the same sky. We're all
Right.
need to stay on this earth and this planet,
Right.
and survive. So it was interesting because, of course, we were inspired to write our song Stargazing with Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot.
Right. It's actually pretty cool. This Carl Sagan thing is accompanying what was a video of Voyager 1, I believe, as it was leaving our solar system. And it turns the camera back and you just see Earth as this little, what do they call it? The pale blue dot. And so we sort of were totally enamored with this quote in this little video, and it inspired us to do Stargazing and
To write the song, yeah.
yes, and the I think that Sky's the Limit's website actually has that same quote.
That's
so we
hilarious. We wrote the song before we even knew about them, so
Right.
that was cool. It was a really good little synergistic thing. So
Right.
we're going to just read that to you in case you haven't heard it. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you've ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization.
Every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam.
That's really impactful, right?
Man.
And it's like the deal. Life is a gift. Earth is a gift, and we get to live out this gift on this planet, our lives on this planet. So we need to be present and intentional about how we're living. There's no us or them. There is only us.
There's only us. That's
Yeah.
right. We can choose to recognize that whoever and wherever you are, we are on this life journey together. So the next time you look up into the night sky, remember that we are looking up at the same sky, and together we make the planet the best place it can be for all of us.
Take me out stargazing, stargazing. Escape the lights of the city.
Part 2, Fighting Like a Girl, a Warrior's Fight.
All right. So Karen Hawkins, wife, mom of 2 teenage boys, and you started the A Warrior's Fight on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Am I right about that? Okay. Now, you say you are a Chinese, Japanese goofball, and you were born in Singapore. Okay, Kat, I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
already I'm interested.
Yes, very
So can you elaborate on that and tell us about your family, where you grew up?
Well, I grew up in Singapore. I say I'm a goofball because, well, have you ever seen the movie Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm a crazy poor Asian. I grew up in Singapore, moved here when I was about 9. There are 5 siblings.
5.
So I have 2 brothers and 2 younger sisters. My dad's Chinese, my mom's Japanese.
And now you've been here
Wow.
since you were 9.
Yes.
Being a crazy poor Asian. And now you're on
Exactly.
Crazy Amazing Humans.
Right, see?
Just a lot of craziness happening here. Tell us a little bit how you, let's say, met or got together with your husband. I don't know. There's some kind of terminology here.
I met my husband, let's see, we've been together for 25 years, and
Awesome.
I met my husband through my ex-husband.
Okay.
You know, like you do.
I like this. This is new information.
Like you do.
I like it.
There wasn't anything kinky or anything. It was just, we met that way.
And you kind of hit it off with him?
We hit it off right away.
Oh, okay.
right
And
away.
you're married to this other person at the time? Or no, you met him through when he was your
No,
ex-husband?
when we were going through our divorce.
Okay. And he was your husband's buddy?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're still friends with him, right?
Yes.
With both. Well, with your ex. And,
With
Hopefully
my
with your
ex-husband,
husband
yes.
that's good. Yes. This
Okay,
is
so you have 2 teenage boys, yes, and 3 dogs, I believe.
3 dogs.
Aye. A lot of energy in that household.
Yes.
So can you tell us about how you and Lee became parents?
We tried having kids for a couple of years and then had to go through the in vitro process. We got pregnant the second time but lost a baby right away. And then we were open to adoption. So put in our paperwork, and both our boys came to us as newborns.
wow.
They're amazing.
That's a story in and of itself.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How old are they now?
So Tyler's 18 and Ryan's 13.
Aw. You have your hands full.
I do, but
No kidding.
they're really great boys. They're so independent and have been such a great help.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so I bet that's been very important on your journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you said that you felt like something was happening health-wise when you were in the best shape of your life. Can you tell me what happened and how you discovered? And
I was very active in hot yoga, paddleboarding, doing yoga on the paddleboards as well as kickboxing. Especially with the yoga, I was very in tune with my body. I know that when I was in certain poses, I could feel something unusual happening internally. The tingles up my spine from my tailbone. I went in to see my doctor probably once a month and kept telling her something is wrong. And I thought she would listen to me a little better because she was also a breast cancer survivor, and everything kept getting pushed off. You're fine. Stop the hot yoga. Stop the kickboxing for a couple of weeks. You're putting your body through too much. You're having GI problems because a lot of the symptoms are the same as having GI issues. So we went on with getting tested, getting blood work done, getting a lot of ultrasounds done, but regular blood work doesn't show if you have cancer. It will just show elevations of, whether you're anemic or you are allergic to certain things, just slight changes. There's only one blood work that really shows if you have cancer, and a spike in your white blood count, and it's called the CA-125. Now, as a patient, you can't just go in and ask for one. You have to show significant symptoms in order for a doctor to put it in as a request, or, getting the insurance to approve it. But, so anyway, we went in over and over again with the ultrasounds, and finally found that I had a fibroid tumor that was pushing up into my ribs. So that was causing some of the pain. And so it was finalized to where they said that I had to get a hysterectomy. They were just going to go ahead and remove, my ovaries and uterus and so on, because I was also having a lot of cysts burst on my ovaries, which was causing a lot of pain. So it was when they went in that surgery that they saw all the cancer lesions. And they said I lit up like a Christmas tree. It was all over my organs.
Wow. So what did you expect when you got that diagnosis? What did you expect to happen, and what happened? And
I would say when I heard those words, "you have cancer," it hit me hard. I cried for a little bit. But it was that time, too, I heard God's voice, and he said, "You have a journey." And I knew my journey was to share my cancer experience, everything of what a cancer patient goes through, the good, bad, and ugly.
So I just wanted to ask then, a warrior's fight. So what part of this process did you decide, I'm starting this, a warrior's fight? I'm going to start to share my journey in this way on Facebook and Instagram?
From the get-go. So
right away, you decided.
Right away. I actually started blogging, and the blogging got to be a little too much, so I just went straight into Facebook and then opened up the Instagram account later on. But I share, times I go into surgeries, when I'm getting blood work done, when I'm getting my scans. I share a lot of my thoughts, feelings. Also post a lot of uplifting things.
so you said that you really want to use your journey to speak to others and help others. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the specific stories that you've told, or, some of the people you've helped? Any little details like that?
I'm going into my 6th fight, and I would say in all my fights, there have always been people who privately will send me messages privately. Some of them I know, a lot of them I don't know, will ask me, what were your symptoms? How were you feeling? I just got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I'm just wondering how you deal with it emotionally and mentally. Or I'm about to go get a biopsy and I'm freaking out. How do you handle yourself? Like, how do you keep calm?
Mm-hmm. And how do you answer that to people?
The first thing I tell them is, I know you're stressing, and that's a very natural thing, but just know that stress causes cancer. It causes it to, in my words, explode. So think about that. Think about what you don't want to happen. So just do what you have to do. Go find your thing, whether it's meditating, whether it's going to sit on the beach, whether it's going running, go to the gym. You have to find your own thing. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's going to the beach or plugging in some music.
Are all the people that respond to you and get in touch with you, is it always related to cancer?
No.
Oh, it's not?
It's not always related to cancer. It's, having a tough time with your child, or I had a friend who was an alcoholic. It was something she grew up with for a long time, and it was a hard battle. And when she found out I had cancer, the only thing she wanted to do was drink. And she stood in the store for probably about an hour staring at those bottles, and finally said, if Karen's going to fight this battle, then I'm going to fight my battle. Until this day, she's sober, and I am so proud of her.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, well, let's talk about your bucket list I think that's a big inspiration for people on your Facebook page, and you want to talk about some of the things you put down and why and what you've done and what you have to do.
Funny thing about a bucket list is it just keeps growing. And if you really sit down and think about the things they've always said, oh, I want to try this, oh, I want to go here, those are bucket list items. And you should write them down, and you should set a date as to, a year out, 6 months out, accomplish it. I've done little things like taking a pottery class with some friends. I've done some big things, and that's facing my fears. And this man right here is the one that got me to go skydiving.
No, can I just say, she said we had gone indoor skydiving, didn't we?
We did.
Oh, you guys did that together.
Yes.
And then I said to
Is that
you,
like, where'd you go, to Universal, or what is it?
no, this was up in
Ontario.
Are those like
Ontario.
wind tunnels
It's
that you kind of
it's
go
the
into?
same
Okay.
company as the one out in Universal, and we just happened to go to Ontario.
So, Kat, then I turned to her and I say, okay, you know what we got to do now, right? Do this for real. And what did you say?
I said, okay. And then
No,
I said,
you didn't.
And then I said, damn it.
You said, hell no. That's what you said at first. And
It was
then,
that was something I said I would never ever do.
But here
Jumping
are.
on an airplane and
So how'd you guys do it? What kind of jumping out of
So we went to Oceanside,
yes.
where you could see the ocean. But I'd love for you to recount those moments when you first.
Were you tandem, or were you like the
Tandem
the
for
static
sure.
line? Okay.
Oh
So you
goodness,
were
there's
with-
no other way.
Yeah,
There's no other way.
I did on my own my first time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Look at
That's
you.
okay. But I was also.
I got to up my game.
I think
Okay,
I was
Karen?
21 and foolish. But anyways, okay, go ahead.
So tandem, so the guy that I jumped out with, we were going to be the first ones to go out. We were sat by the door. Thank God this door closed, and we're in this tiny little airplane. And I keep looking at JD, and JD keeps giving me the thumbs up. And
By the way, I was also terrified, but I wasn't going to let her know that.
we were up 3,300 feet up high, I think.
High enough for it to count.
Yeah. So when that door opened, they have you put your head back against a guy's shoulder, and you just fall out. And in the video, you can see me cussing. You can see all the words coming out. But once you get into that position, it is the most amazing thing. And I would say, for me, remembering the moments, I was going into a fight at that time. And it was probably one of the most beautiful spring days we had. And we were up with the clouds. And I remember just falling. We were falling so fast. And I could hear my dad and my brother's voice.
And they had passed away.
In the same week.
Oh.
My brother is the one that taught me to face my fears. He taught me to always go for it. And so when he passed away, that is something that I incorporate into my life. And my dad taught me to always have a sense of humor through the hardest times, and that I do. And I could hear their voices and my brothers cheering me on, saying, "You're doing this, good for you." And then I hear my dad's voice saying, "What the hell are you doing? Are you crazy?" And for a moment, in the bliss of looking down at earth and everything God has created, I said to him, "I'm going back down. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. It's not my time yet, and I've got your work to continue doing."
And that's just really inspired you, informed you, motivated you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So how old were you when you lost your dad and your brother then?
I was 29.
Okay.
Now you say you've got this amazing bucket list, but you also say you don't have to wait till you have cancer to come up with a bucket list and live as, because I know you, and you encourage people to live as fully as possible.
You should never wait, because there'll be that time when the doctor will tell me it's your time, and by then I know that I'd be in too much pain to do anything. And why not live life now.
Yeah, because like nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring.
Exactly.
None of us
Right.
know. So
Exactly.
everyone should just, I love that. I love that idea. You know, we all should have a bucket list no matter what and be going down it and live life to its fullest.
Live it to the
Agreed.
fullest and
Take some risks.
exactly enjoy the moment, live in the moment, and live your own story and make it a good one. Because you're the author of your own book. For me, cancer is just a few chapters.
Nice. Okay, so you said you're going into your 6th fight.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that and how you process it.
This 6th fight, I will need chemotherapy infusions. It'll be 6 months worth. It has been extremely difficult for me to wrap my head around this one. I think emotionally, I just can't get past the sadness. Because it's not just me fighting, it's my family fighting.
Right.
It's them having to go through this as well.
So have you gone into remission and then go back into the fight, or has this been a battle, you know, that you're just going consistently through these fights?
I don't really have remission times anymore.
Okay.
And I was told from the get-go that my remission times were going to get shorter and shorter just because of the type of cancer I have. Basically now they're kind of overlapping.
So you say it's really affecting you this time, but how are you, how have you, and how will you in the future keep your, you know, your inspiration and your hope and yourself going?
Prayers. I believe in the power of prayer and certainly keeping up with my bucket list. Always looking for something fun to do, something fun to eat, try. I have a sense of humor, so I'm always doing funny things, you know, dressing up when I go for my chemo infusions. I love making the nurses and doctors laugh.
So tell us about some of your outfits. I like this. Did you know this story that she dresses up fun?
Is this to be found on your Warriors
Yes.
Fight?
Okay.
All your outfits?
I do. I have a cape that I wear.
Okay.
A friend got me a cape.
Awesome.
She got me a tiara that I wore. I love sharks, so I've had a little shark hat. I love clown noses. I don't know, just whatever's around, I like to
That's
throw
great.
on.
So you're making it fun. You're trying to keep it positive.
I'm trying to keep it light.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me get through those
Yeah.
several hours that I have to be there. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody to be there or going through it. It's one of the most horrific.
So does your husband take you to the appointment, or how does that work?
I usually have friends take me.
Okay.
Because my friends usually are the ones that want to spend time with me, and we can catch up and we laugh and we tell stories. You know, and I get loopy on my cocktail that they give me before they give me the chemo. So, you know, we just try to make the best of the time.
I have a question for you about the cocktail and the chemo. I guess it's a two-part question, but first of all, how long do you have to go through the chemo process?
So I will be there between 6 to 8 hours getting each infusion.
And how many infusions are there?
This is the schedule that I'm on. I'll be there for the first day, and then the 8th day, I'll get a week off, go back first day, 8th day. So 1.5 treatments to 2 treatments a month.
Now, one thing that you told me that I thought was interesting, and I think our audience might find interesting too, is that it's not just the chemo, right? It's like, okay, all right, you made it through your chemo, now just get back to life. But that's not exactly the truth, is it?
Right.
What is the truth?
It takes a long time for recovery, and it's not for everybody. Some people bounce right back. For me, it's at least 6 months. 6 months of my body hurting, aches and pains within the joints and muscles that are uncontrollable. It's fatigue. It's, you know, you're still working getting that chemo out of your system. So, and steroids.
So what do you do? How do you help yourself? How do you get through that? Do you have any kind of things that you hold on to with Like I make sure I go on a walk every morning, or any kind of little routines.
Walks are hard for me,
Really?
believe it or
Okay.
not. They're really hard. If I can make it downstairs into the backyard, I love sitting in the backyard and getting a little sun. My husband built me this beautiful bench outside that I can either sit on or lay on. And then I have my dogs. My dogs have been a huge part of my therapy.
And what are the dogs? You got 3 dogs.
I've got
So
What are their names?
just describe
what do they look like?
the menagerie of animals that you've collected here.
Yeah.
So Okalani is a Shepherd Lab mix. She is my independent girl. She wants nothing to do with the boys. She'll get in there and play with them sometimes, but she loves her sunshine. She loves her own couch. She's just a little princess. Then there's my huge German Shepherd, Keanu, and he is actually Mama's boy. He actually is my therapy dog. He knows when I'm not feeling good, and he never leaves my side. There are times that he'll jump on my bed and he'll snuggle with me, or he'll place his paw on my heart if he knows I'm having anxiety.
Wow.
And I've pulled his paw off, and he will hold it there till I calm down.
Wow.
It's amazing. He can read me really well. Then we have our newest little nugget, a corgi. His name is Big Kahuna.
I just think that is hysterical.
He is a brat.
How old is he?
He's not even a year old yet.
Okay. So you have this little like Hawaiian theme going on. I know when you wrote us, you said aloha. I recognize some of these names as being Hawaiian. Tell us a little bit about that with Hawaii.
I have always had this love with Hawaii. You can send me there anytime.
The beach, right?
The
Your favorite
beach.
beach. Is
And that is the water I will get into. And, everything's on island time. People go at a certain pace, and everybody's so happy-go-lucky. And I just love that. And every time I fly back into Orange County, it's like going 100 miles per hour again. Back to doing this, back to this sport. Let's go here, let's go there. When you're in Hawaii, there's none of that.
So other than giving the advice of everyone should go to Hawaii,
Yes.
do you have any other advice for folks? Because I think most people don't think about cancer. I certainly don't think about it. And, my wife, as I was telling you, she's dealing with skin cancer right now. What advice would you give us? I know you had said get maybe checked up early, or what would you say?
Early detection is always key, always. And I know that it is such a pain in the butt to take the time out to go to the doctors. We all hate it because you're sitting there for hours. There are people who don't want to hear what the doctors have to say, whether it's change your diet, lose some weight, whatever. But you've got to do it. We're just at the age where we can't mess around anymore. Our environment's changing. Things are happening. So go take the time and get checked, and get thoroughly checked, and not just with your physician, but with a dermatologist. I mean, I grew up in a time where teenage years, baby oil was a big thing. So I see my dermatologist quite a bit. And I just have him check me all over.
Now, you also, I believe, when you go to your boys' soccer games or, baseball games, that you go around checking people's skin. What is this?
If I see they're turning red,
Dr. Karen.
I will let them know.
Get some sunscreen on.
And if they don't have sunscreen, I'll go find them some sunscreen.
Yeah.
It is so important. People don't understand what skin cancer is about. They think that, I'll just get it, zapped off when they find something. It's not that easy.
No. And so when you say, because I kind of find it interesting because you said you weren't feeling well before you got your diagnosis, and you kept kind of having to push your doctor. What can someone do if they don't feel well? How can they insist? What kind of words would they use? What would they say? I really want to get this test, or I need to go forward because I'm not feeling 100%. How would you talk to your doctor to help them understand?
One thing I always say is be your own advocate. You push and push. You have every right to ask any questions and all questions. You have the right to also ask to go see a specialist.
Okay.
So for me, a specialist is going to see a dermatologist or going to see a special OBGYN. The blood work, the ultrasounds. There's only so many you can.
Mammograms.
Mammograms are so important. Ladies, please don't skip those. Speaking of getting checked, yearly PAPs. No, no, not all.
How does that work?
One thing that's really important that people know is that PAPs do not show ovarian cancer. It will show cervical
They don't
cancer.
show.
So what does show, and how can you get someone to just check you for that?
Nothing.
So what it was that HP you mentioned, the
CA125.
Okay, CA125.
She's an expert, man.
I'm
Look at you
completely
drop it.
wrong with those letters.
But wow.
So CA125.
is a special blood work that
And
will
you
show.
would have to get that done to make sure to see if you have.
But they're not going to
they're
just
not going
hand
to do
it
it.
out. They
But
won't
maybe
do
you
it.
could say to your doctor if you really are suspecting something's weird and you haven't found anything, like, can I do the CA125?
Well, I'm sure you could pay for it. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think you can pay for that on your own. But the doctor will only, I shouldn't say only,
In your experience, what's happened to you?
right. You really have to show signs of having cancers. Now,
Okay.
I didn't have all the symptoms of ovarian cancer.
What are they? What are the symptoms?
Good question. So it's bloating, pelvic or abdominal pain, pain with sexual intercourse, changes in eating, whether you're losing your appetite or getting full fast, frequent urination. I mean, those symptoms are very basic and they could be anything. So, don't jump to that conclusion that you have it.
Right, because
Just
there's a danger, isn't there? You
There
can
is
get
a
on
danger.
YouTube or
Yeah,
whatever.
no doubt. You go down
Yeah.
the rabbit hole on
Right.
online.
And all of a sudden,
on
oh my
that
God,
stuff.
I've
Yeah,
got
for sure.
everything that's
Right,
ever
for
been
sure.
an illness under the sun.
Exactly. And that's one thing I never did was get on the internet to look up stuff because you can go stir crazy.
Yeah.
You can make yourself physically sick from looking at stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Very true.
Just be your own advocate. Push
Okay.
through.
These are excellent words of wisdom.
I have cancer that runs in my family. So if you do, then
Yeah,
push a
like-
little harder.
Okay, right. So let them know about your history.
Exactly.
Right.
So, what would you say for those of us who are wanting to do the best we can to help a loved one who has cancer? What words of wisdom do you have?
Get your hands in there. Be active. Now, this is something I used to do when someone said, hey, I have cancer. I would say, give me a call when you need something. That person, that patient, is going through so much. They are not going to remember to pick up the phone to call you and ask you for help. So be active in bringing
Proactive,
meals.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Set up a meal train for them.
Don't wait for them to tell you, hey,
yeah,
it's
right.
really
Can
bad
you bring me
now.
dinner tonight or something? It's just
Right.
they're just not going to think about it.
Gift
Yeah.
cards are great. I've had a couple wonderful friends send me blankets. Those I take with me to chemo because it gets cold in there. Cute socks, just fun things. I mean, there's bags you can put together, and I will certainly. I've posted stuff, but I will post again. What are some good things to take with you? If you get them candy, get them sugarless candy because sugar is one of the worst things for us.
Don't tell me this, Karen.
I
It's-
know. It's just.
But you're so right.
yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do. Cards, sweet messages. One thing I will say to stay away from,
Yeah.
and I know they mean this out of love, is sometimes watch the advice on telling someone
Like alternatives.
right, what do you need to eat, telling them they got to do this, got to do that, because cancer is different for everybody. And how they react to certain things and what they're open to, it's very different. So it's hard when someone sits there and says, well, my grandpa ate this and he survived, so you should definitely try
Right.
to do this. And I've always appreciated the time that they take to do this, but
It's overwhelming.
It is very
You just
overwhelming.
probably have a constant barrage of that.
Yes.
You had
Because
said- I'm
people
sorry to
want to
interrupt you.
help, but it
That's
ends
why,
up being tough.
exactly, and we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know the
No,
right thing
no,
to do
no,
sometimes.
exactly.
You had told me too that, and this is something, Kat, maybe we've heard since we were kids. Oh, we're going to get rid of cancer. We're going to declare war on cancer, right? Fight cancer, get rid of it. But you were telling me that there is no one cancer. There's
Right,
in fact,
right,
there's
right.
different kinds of ovarian cancer, isn't there?
right, there's different kinds of ovarian cancer, different kinds of breast cancer. We have lung cancer. Everybody has something different, And each treatment is different for everybody. It just depends on your weight, what your CA-125 numbers are at. So there's a lot of things. Your cocktail is built off of your testing that they have done off you.
And it's all individualized, I guess.
Right.
For sure.
So finding a cure isn't that easy because everybody's going to have a different
Cocktail, a different
Cocktail,
reaction
exactly.
to that same
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, this is life. This is like dealing with almost anything health-wise.
Right.
Everyone's body is so uniquely made, and so just, I can't drink coffee. I literally, if I drink coffee, I'm like, bzz, like I can't do it, right? And like some people can just down coffee 24/7.
Right before bed even.
Yeah, right? I know. So that's just like the most minuscule example of how, the same chemical, the same thing is going to, have a different reaction in different bodies. It's really, really challenging.
Yep.
So any more like thoughts that you've had about, during your fight and words for people who might be fighting right now?
Whatever fight that you may be fighting, cancer or not, know that you are human. Take that time to grieve. Take that time to get the anger out, whether you have to punch a pillow, punching bag, get it all out. A warrior can drop to his or her knees. But you need to take the time to find who you are, what defines you. You grab that sword and that shield, and you stand back up, and you fight that fight. And there are times that you are not going to be able to do that alone. And that's where your friends or family come. Mm-hmm. And they help hold you up. No one ever fights alone. No. So if you need to reach out and talk to somebody, I'm more than happy to. Or find a therapist. Find somebody that you can talk to. It's important that you get through this mentally. Mm-hmm. It's not just physically and emotionally. Mentally, you have to be strong.
Will you tell us a little about the warrior within you and who you've discovered your warrior is and how you've discovered?
I am 5'3.5". I'm a little bundle of feistiness, stubbornness. I'm not going down without a fight. And I know I have so much more left in me. My body's tired, but deep inside I know I have it. And it gets hard. It gets hard at times. But with my faith, it keeps me strong. And having faith gives me hope. And every day that I have here on earth has been a gift, a true gift. And I'm grateful for my family, my friends. They help fuel this fire within me.
It's great. And you look amazing. No one would ever, some people won't be seeing this on video, they'll be just audio. And I just want to say, no one would ever suspect you look incredible. You look amazing. And your spirit and just everything about you. Thank you for sharing these very important ideas and
so important
feelings. So, we just want to encourage everyone to connect with A Warrior's Fight on Instagram and Facebook. On that site, you really encourage people that they are not alone in this struggle and that, you're there with them. And so please check it out, A Warrior's Fight.
You really are not alone because Karen has decided that if you message her, she will get back to you. And if you're in the vicinity, she will be willing to meet with you because that's how crazy, amazing humans roll.
Yeah.
So if you personally have, even if you don't personally have cancer, but you're going through something, I think Karen has made it clear that humanity is full of struggle. Mm-hmm. And because of what you've been through, you have this amazing capacity. You probably had it before, but now on steroids, this amazing feeling of what can I do for people. And so you love to say, I have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's great.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
being here, for being such a crazy, amazing human, and for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure.
Never let you go.
Part 3.
Calling all crazy, amazing humans.
So just a quick shout out to Lee Hawkins, Karen's husband, as well as their 2 sons, Tyler and Ryan. Hi, you guys.
Hey.
For sharing Karen with us today. I think it's obvious, but it bears repeating that if you are the one going through something challenging, your whole family goes through it too, right?
No doubt. Absolutely. It's a reminder that everyone is going through something, right? It's just means that we all have plenty of opportunities to do something good, to find ways to contribute in the communities where we live, as long as we're open to seeing it, to seeing how we can make a difference.
Right.
So speaking of those opportunities, here's our segment entitled Crazy Little Thing Called, where we like to share with you a remarkable something that specifically helps other people. Today we're shining a spotlight on an invention called the cocoon, which is a self-deploying, portable, safe space for people affected by epilepsy. Put simply, it's a foam-padded helmet that you can put on to keep yourself safe during a seizure, along with other features that alert people to your condition and location.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's insane. I mean, the cocoon was created by Uma Smith, who is an industrial designer, sculptor, photographer, and she herself also has epilepsy.
Wow.
Uma was diagnosed with epilepsy at age 11, and because of her personal struggles with epilepsy, she came up with the cocoon. And Jennifer Zolper, writing on the Good News Network website, gives us the following backstory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seizures, and I didn't know this, seizures are a part of life for the 50 million people worldwide that are epileptic, and they have a risk of death 3 to 6 times greater than the average population. Now, many can sense the seizure's onset, giving them time to find a safe place to lie down. But what if the person is alone? In this circumstance, the cocoon features GPS to help caregivers find the person, seizure sensors, a timer, automated messaging to alert an emergency contact, and after 3 minutes of seizing, a 911 call for an ambulance.
That's amazing.
Wow. If the seizure ends early, the sensors will detect that as well and call off the emergency measures automatically. The cocoon can roll up and become a portable pillow, and is compact enough to slide into a tote bag, giving those with epilepsy a new sense of freedom to explore and be out on their own.
That is so incredible.
Wow.
And this whole idea is very near and dear to my heart because I have a sibling with epilepsy.
Right.
Yeah. So I've walked the walk with my sibling, and something like this really is so helpful. So information about Uma Smith and her works, including the cocoon, can be found on her website, umasmith.com, and it's umasmith.com. You can check out the full article at thegoodnewsnetwork.org, and the link will be on our website at crazyamazinghumans.com.
So here's a cool story we came across under our moniker of Crazy Amazing Kids, about a crazy, amazing teenager, still a kid.
Yeah.
Right? 17 years old, a 17-year-old high school student in Haywood, California, who organizes and throws birthday parties for children who are homeless.
Oh.
Her name is Tanvi Barman, and she used to accompany her parents when she was young as they went as a family to volunteer at homeless shelters. So this then became her inspiration for the project that she started calling, I like this, No Birthday Left Behind.
Oh, that's great.
To date, Tanvi has thrown over 45 of these birthday parties, maybe more by now.
Cool.
Some of these children have never had a birthday celebration before. In an interview with Janet Shamlian, I think, of CBS News, Tanvi is quoted as saying that it's very hard for these children to get a source of happiness in their lives. I can provide them a day where they feel special and loved. And a link to the CBS interview is on our website. So for more information on what Tanvi is doing, you can go to nobirthdayleftbehind.com.
That is so tender.
So great.
And so great.
You know what I love about that too is that she's following in the footsteps, the example her parents gave
That's
to
so
her.
true,
So she says, oh, this is what you do. And then she decided to take that on and incorporate it into what she does.
There's nothing better than that. I mean, that's like your job as a parent. I mean, if you
I
can
would say
accomplish
so.
that with your kids, that's amazing. And we have another new segment that we like to call Still Crazy Amazing After All These Years. And these are people who are committed. They show tenacity. They are in it for the long haul through the ups and downs, and they just stick to whatever it is that they're doing to help others. And this next story out of Detroit is a great example of that. So starting in 1996, Naja Bazi, I hope I pronounced that right, has been determined to help those in need from the Detroit area. She originally ran her goodwill effort from her home, transporting donated goods in her family's minivan.
Wow.
She just did it herself.
Okay.
Starting small, this is what we do, grassroots, right?
Right.
Just do what you can do. Eventually, her efforts grew into Zaman International, a nonprofit that now supports impoverished women and children of all backgrounds. Wow. And according to a CNN interview, the group has helped more than 250,000 people.
What?
Okay, so they've been doing this since 1996, people. So 250,000
You're
people.
right about this being commitment.
Yeah, this is like still crazy amazing after all these years.
Yeah,
You're
right.
sticking to it. Zaman International operates from a 40,000 square foot facility in a Detroit suburb called Inkster. The group's warehouse offers aisles of food, rows of clothes, vast arrays of furniture free to those in need. The group's case managers help clients access housing and other services. And the group's donated clothing and furniture are also available to the public through its Good Deeds resale shop. Here's a quote. They say, "Our mothers are able to come. They get a voucher and have the same dignified shopping experience as somebody else, but do not have to pay for it." She said, "It's about dignity." I really love that.
I know, right?
I mean, that's so cool. They get to go have a shopping experience. It's not like, oh, here, this is what you get. They get to pick it out.
Right.
You know?
And not only that, but they also empower the people to not just feel like, okay, I'm just receiving a handout. It says the nonprofit also offers clients free education, job placement, as well as vocational training through its sewing and culinary arts programs. The goal is to help women become self-sufficient. We're a one-stop shop, she said. We help our clients move from quote-unquote a handout to quote-unquote a hands-on, because when you're in crisis, the idea of how to get yourself out of it is overwhelming.
I'm sure.
So, right, ultimately, Bazzi wants to empower women to achieve their potential. People just need an opportunity, she says, and they need hope. And that's what we do best. Wow. So we have a link to the full CNN interview on our website. And to find out more about the organization, you can go to Zaman International, all one word, .org.
Nice.
So that's our podcast.
Yay.
We want to thank Karen Hawkins, creator of A Warrior's Fight, which you can find on both Facebook and Instagram, I believe.
Thank you, Karen.
So thank you for being with us, Karen. Don't forget to subscribe to our Crazy Amazing Humans podcast and comment on our YouTube channel. Our email again is crazyamazinghumans@gmail.com. We definitely want to hear from you, and we want to stay connected with you.
Yeah, we also want to encourage you to sign up for our newsletter on our website, crazyamazinghumans.com, where you will find the links we talk about in our podcasts, as well as additional fun and inspirational content. And if you have a story about a crazy, amazing human that's making a difference in the lives of those around them, please let us know. We just might highlight them in our next podcast.
Right.
Okay.
And most of all, we just want to make sure to thank you for being with us. Thank you. Remember that every little kindness has the potential to create crazy, amazing human experiences, one person at a time.
So true. You never know how you're going to influence someone just by being nice to them. So this week we want to encourage you to find one thing that you can do to extend kindness and love in the world. I'm Katrina Carlson.
And I'm Jefferson Denham. We'll see you next time right here on the Crazy Amazing Humans podcast.
I want you to feel, I want you to feel something crazy.